I don't know. I have another line that's about to come out, and I am trying to be sanctified here. But so he doesn't want to do that. So that immediately now puts Henry VIII at odds with the Holy Roman Empire and the Holy Roman Emperor, and therefore eventually again with the Roman Catholic Church. Well, all along, Thomas Cranmer is being drawn toward the Reformation. And now, with the movements in the life of Henry VIII to disentangle himself from the Roman Church for various and sundry reasons, Thomas Cranmer now begins to move the Reformation into the Roman Church in England and moving it to what eventually will become the Anglican Church or the Church of England, and will also write its very first Book of Common Prayer. He will very gradually begin to disciple, train, and empower a number of very powerful lieutenants and co-workers. As I've mentioned before, Bilney would be available, as well as Hugh Latimer and Nicholas Ridley, and they would begin to do their work. And then when Henry VIII dies, the throne goes to Edward VI. And Edward VI takes the throne as a boy, and he is under a vice-regent who has a very high commitment to the Reformation. And so and Edward VI himself becomes committed in his early years. He dies when he's 15 years old, though. Then comes who's going to replace him. Well, there's the big argument there. Edward VI desires that his cousin, Jane Grey, would replace him. And he did everything he could to get Jane Grey there, and Thomas Cranmer became the facilitator to accomplish that, which eventually would be part of why he ends up losing his life. But the quote-unquote rightful heir that claims that she's the rightful heir is the half-sister of Edward, and that is Mary. And so Mary now claims that he ends up over in Geneva. He will make 2 trips over here. Both of them will be very much almost at the cost of his life. But he'll make 2 trips over here, and we'll be picking up on what he does. So that's just a little bit of an overview. There's a lot more you're going to be getting, but I just wanted to give you that, just those broad themes as you go through it. Now this can become a very confusing time, because you got when you got Jane Grey. Jane Grey is actually I think, yeah, she's being assisted by Mary of Guise, and so there's another Mary for you. And so you got all of these Marys. You got Bloody Mary. And then you'll have Mary Queen of Scots, and then you'll have James VI of Scotland, who becomes James I of England and brings England and Scotland together. And I think you're going to have a vote in September as to whether to go back apart again. And our guide said she's going to speak to that for us at one of our evening meals or something, and give her, she says, very objective analysis. I'm not sure that's possible, but I know Sean Connery's voting for independence, and for whatever that's worth. So anyway, that's just a little bit of an overview. Now, I don't want to go too far down the weeds with you. I just want you to be able to rest tonight. But I did want you just to step in tomorrow as we start walking up the Royal Mile, and we'll be talking about where John Knox debated Mary Queen of Scots, and you'll see where the place where many of the reformers were killed here in Edinburgh. You'll go to the Greyfriars Cemetery, where the National Covenant was signed, and so I'll be trying to get you kind of up to date on we're trying to keep a catalog of who's getting killed where, and how the Lord's using people in different ways. Now, by the way, if you got a chance yesterday, did any of y'all get a chance to stop at the Canongate Kirk Church?
Actually,
Did you got a chance to stop there? Anybody else? Okay, well, when you're walking up tomorrow, I'll point it out to you. The manse is sitting back to the right. It's a whitewashed little building. Then you've got some more buildings, and then you've got the cemeteries around the church, Canongate Church. And it's there at the Canongate Church today. In 1949, they moved the pulpit of the great Scottish preacher, Thomas Chalmers. They moved his pulpit over there. So if you want to sneak in there and grab a quick picture, that was Thomas Chalmers' pulpit, who had a great effect on many of the divines that came to America in his writing and preaching. So the church where he pastored closed down, and they moved the pulpit over there so you could see it. But we'll try to show you various things like that tomorrow. Yes, Dave?
As far as housekeeping, what breakfast, they start serving breakfast at 7 a.m. What time do you want everybody on their feet?
We're not going to get on a bus tomorrow.
I don't think you get on the bus.
It's a walk, that's why get on your feet. It's a walking, it'd be a walking
You
tour.
need good walking shoes.
Yeah.
You need probably one layer. I wouldn't take any more than one layer, because I think tomorrow's supposed to be a repeat of today, from what I understand.
So what time are we starting?
I don't remember exactly. I thought she told you. I think she's
She didn't
planning
tell me I
on,
was trying to find her. And
I think she's planning on, unless you hear different from us, plan on walking out of here at 9 o'clock, okay? I think that's the time she's looking at.
Okay, and breakfast is in the main hotel part, or?
Yeah, be downstairs, it'll be from 7 on, and ask her about it as a group. I guess we just tell them when we
Yep.
go in.
I think most breakfasts are just a couple of dinners.
I believe I'll tell